Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. prime time newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bablet Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, civil society and political leaders in the Republic of Cameroon say enough is enough and that Cameroonians should rise up to put an end to injustice, impunity, and violation of the law and human rights in the country. You will hear details in this newscast, and also in this newscast we'll be talking about 250,000 fake tablets of chloroquine and ivermectin seized in Cameroon's economic capital Douala by law enforcement officers. The fake drugs were imported into the country illegally from neighboring Nigeria. Civil society and political leaders in the Republic of Cameroon are urging the population to rise up as one man to put an end to impunity, injustice, and the violation of the law and human rights in the country. Some of the civil society leaders and politicians, human rights defenders, members of Stand Up for Cameroon were speaking to journalists in the country's economic capital, Douala, today, and they are pressing for justice for dead journalist Samuel Wazizi, other journalists still in detention, and all Cameroonians arrested and detained arbitrarily in different incarceration centers across the country. And they were meeting today and calling on the Cameroonians to rise up and put an end to such practices, illegal arrest and arbitrary detention of persons in violation of the law and human rights. Details in this extract of Kabangwala Edid, National President of the Cameroon People's Party and member of Stand Up for Cameroon.
We are still talking about justice for Wazizi. We have had no explanation from government. The body has not been released to the family, and instead lawyers and family are having threats against them. We are now looking for Marcus Atube Ebilitu. We have discovered that he was arrested, kidnapped. Let me not say arrested, because arrest is a procedure. Arrest is a legal procedure which follows certain rules and regulations. Our government has been kidnapping people, because it is kidnap. When you take somebody, the law of Cameroon says upon arrest you have right to legal counsel, which means the state must inform that they have arrested you, why they have arrested you, and where you are being kept. And the question which is before us as Cameroonians is, how many cases? How long are we going to continue? Yesterday we are crying victims in Garbu. Then we are looking for Wazizi, only to find out he is dead. Today now we are looking for Marcus Atube Elibitu. We at Stand Up for Cameroon say it is enough, because tomorrow there will be a new case. The day after there will be another case. It is in our interest as Cameroonians to stand up and put an end to this. We need to stand up as one nation. I am calling on the women, as I usually do, because these are our children. No mother would want to stand looking for her child for 300 days only to find out that he had been killed months ago. Let us rise as one person and go and put an end. We know where the problem is. The problem is with the Biya regime in Yaoundé. We know that. Let us rise, stand up, put an end, and begin the difficult work of rebuilding the foundation of this country. This is done by non-violent protests.
And speaking during that meeting here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, the representative of the Douala chapter of the Cameroon English-speaking Journalists Association president, indicated that journalists are determined to continue mounting pressure on the Yaoundé administration until they get justice for Samuel Wazizi and all other journalists who are being detained in incarceration centers in the Republic of Cameroon, and also to put an end to attacks on journalists, to attacks on the press in the country. And he said that journalists are not enemies of the state. The press is not the enemy of government. Take a listen to Metuge Stanley, a representative of the regional or the Douala chapter president of the Cameroon English-speaking Journalists Association.
Taking it to the next level, because journalists across the country mobilized on Tuesday. They were out to demand justice for Wazizi. They were out to let one know that journalism is on the climb. They were out to let everybody know that lives matter. And the national office of the Cameroon Association of English-speaking Journalists, like that of the Cameroon Journalism Trade Union, are doing everything possible to make sure that the voice of journalists is loud and clear, because we can't just let Wazizi go like that. Today is Wazizi. Who knows who will be the next victim tomorrow? We know the core of our profession: to educate, to inform, and to entertain. And the state should never see a journalist like a threat. So basically, right now, we are still waiting for orders from the National Office of Kamer Search on the way forward. But I must let you know that we are leaving no stone unturned, because justice indeed is what we are asking for about our colleague Samuel Wazizi. We are using the state of Wazizi to shield many birds, because there are many journalists still under custody. The Njuka you just mentioned, we learned that he has been in custody now for approximately 25 or 30 days, and it's not a good sign for a state like Cameroon.
Metuge Stanley, a journalist, representative of the chapter president of the Cameroon English-speaking Journalists Association, Kamer Douala, speaking there. And of course, the pressure continues mounting as the demand for justice in the case of Samuel Wazizi and all other journalists being detained rising to the sky from within and without the Republic of Cameroon. And while condemning the violation of human rights and the law in the arrest and detention of several persons in the Republic of Cameroon, a legal mind and member of the Cameroon and Nigerian Bar Associations highlighted the case of the Garbu massacre and brings to us updates on the situation. Take a listen to Barrister Tamfu Richard.
The case has finally now been transferred to an examining magistrate at the military tribunal in Yaoundé. Presently, it's under preliminary inquiry before an examining magistrate in the Yaoundé military court. So it is to let you know that the case has been ongoing for the past 2 months, and it was chanced to our investigation and continuous search for information that we happened to stumble on the file that the examining magistrate or that the government already is taking down records of probable victims in the case. So that is how on Monday we were at the military tribunal to formally enter into the file before that examining magistrate, and she informed us that we should bring along our victims, which we did on Wednesday. And as of now, we have had three witnesses or victims who have entered the file as civil claimants. So she gave us 1 month to bring 4 other civil claimants that we think have to benefit from the incident. So it is to put you on notice that the case is ongoing, though not mediatized, because we're all witness of what happened on the 14th. So we expected that every step that the government should be taking should as well be mediatized. I can't comment in detail exactly what is ongoing because they are still secret, because an examining magistrate is like an investigator as well, but an investigator who is a sitting judge. So that is why there are some information that we can't reveal for now. The government has only indicted or has charged just 3 persons. We have Sergeant Babangida, we have a first-class soldier, Haranga, and we have a gendarme by name Sading. So those are the 3 persons for now that are under custody and which the state has formally charged. So we expect that in the days ahead, as investigations are still ongoing, we'll have to drag more people to court to respond to what happened in Garbu.
And one of the frontliners in the struggle for solutions to the decades-old Anglophone problem, who died recently, was laid to rest yesterday. Mulanjo Litumbe was buried in his native village of Boya, southwest region of Cameroon, and Derek Jato was there. This is his report.
This is how Christians of Presbyterian Church Bukwango in Boya subdivision, family members, friends and well-wishers bid farewell to Mulanjo Litumbe. To some people, Mulanjo Litumbe was an example of a nation builder.
Whether you like it or not, he contributed enormously towards the building of this country. Reason why the President of the Republic recognized him as a member of the Court of Impeachment.
To others, his humility remains a lesson to the present-day leaders.
Father to all of us, somebody who mentored us and who was always willing to listen and to advise us. I remember the humility in Mula, especially when Mula called me, invited me personally for his 90th anniversary. And I remember at times when I have a discussion group in my house and I would invite Mula and Mula would attend. So,
we commend Mulanjo Litumbe, our father, grandfather,
and ask the clergymen pray for his soul to rest in the bosom of the Lord. The spokesperson of the Litumbe's family, in few words, saluted the solidarity shown to the bereaved family.
And the entire Litumbe family, please accept our heartfelt thanks for spending this time with us. We wish you a safe trip back to your homes. Litumbo Litumbe, Odemonya Litumbule, Keraman Demoana Litumbe, Caroline.
Calling him a father of the Anglophone struggle, Barrister Abobala regretted that Mulanjo Litumbe has gone home at a time that the in-house fighting among his ideological successors risks diverting the cause of the Anglophone struggle.
but I hope that now that Mula has gone with God and he can see with God, so that the faction, the fighting, the infighting in the Anglophone struggle, that unity can be, we can have some unity. Because I think the bane of our struggle now is the fact that there's a lot of infighting. And
Mulanjo Litumbe saw the sun in 1927, and he has closed his eyes this 2020. He will be remembered by many as a unifying factor, a man who in himself was the identity of the Bakware culture, and to politicians, an ally has departed. Mulanjo Litumbe was buried in his native Bukwango village in Boya subdivision, southwest region of Cameroon.
Derek Jato reporting there, and in the report coming up next week, we're going to talk about insecurity in Cameroon's two major cities, the political capital Yaoundé and the economic capital Douala, and this is a serious problem threatening the
They are demanding security officials to free an alleged bandit they are protecting from them not to beat him. The boy in question is reported to have stolen a motorcycle at Mele and was running away when traffic jam caught up with him at the Acacia market in Biamasi, Yaoundé. Public security officers who were around the scene on time took away the alleged bandit and kept him at a store. After hours of struggle with the bike riders who were bent on lynching the alleged thief, the alleged bandit and the bike were bundled away by the security forces. At the Mabanda neighborhood in the Duolofo subdivision, it was another alleged bandit who was almost beaten to death by inhabitants of the area Friday early in the morning. He is accused of breaking into a taxi.
Ce monsieur arrive sans caleçon au lieu du deuil. On lui pose la question, qu'est-ce qui ne va pas? Il dit qu'il s'est retrouvé dans une voiture bloquée. Il était à l'intérieur de la voiture. Il a cassé la voiture pour sortir.
The timely intervention of the commander of the National Gendarmerie for the zone enabled the man believed to be from Buddha to be saved. Later at dawn, the image of the taxi he broke into was visible.
I locked all these doors until 7:30.
These doors were locked at 7:30 p.m. I went to bed because I had plans to transport my wife the next day. Somebody came and broke the car in an attempt to steal it. The person claims not to know how he got into the car I locked before sleeping.
You don't know how you do enter a taxi where I lock our keys. And the keys in this. And the keys in that. Where they empty skin.
Inhabitants are now calling on security officials to redouble their efforts on the field against men of the underworld who are in their numbers now.
Teachers of some schools in Cameroon are complaining that they have been abandoned by the administration at a time when there is a crisis, a health crisis, the coronavirus pandemic, and some of them spoke to our reporters in the southwest region of the country, and they are indicating that they are not adequately protected. Adequate measures have not been taken by the administrative authorities to ensure that their students and other pupils as well are safe during this period of the coronavirus after school resumption June 1, 2020. Details in this report.
Week 2 of school resumption in Cameroon, Mundimba subdivision is revealing the factual reality of things here.
If people and students are in school, they need to be taught. Taught by who? Taught by teachers who are paid on monthly basis to do their job. But unfortunately, when I made a round of schools today, most of those teachers were not there.
For one Lawrence, the senior divisional officer from Ndian Division, made the discovery himself. He has just paid an unannounced visit to some schools of the central subdivision in his area of command.
I am giving them the last chance to the 16th of this month to return, else their salaries will be suspended.
And not only the academic sector is drowning, some head of services have abandoned the state assignment they are paid for.
Some divisional delegates, my own collaborators, for unexplained reason, have absconded. That yet they continue to take salary at the end of the month. I'm calling on all those divisional delegates, all those divisional heads of services to return to Mundemba before the 16th. I already have their matricule number.
And to the elite of Ndian Division, the campaign to develop their division should also be harnessed by them as sons and daughters of the land.
I rarely see any elites. This is not the time for those who are elected to take care of those who elected them. I know that some of them, because of their preoccupation in Yaoundé, they have been sending sanitary kits, and I want to thank them for that.
And the health sector is still limping the SGO stress.
I will keep on appealing to the Minister of Public Health that he should come to our rescue, because if it happens today, I'm sure we are the ones to be buried behind our houses. It has not gotten to that state, and I'm sure it will not get to that state.
The oil-rich Ndian Division, with 9 subdivisions, still lacks some basic amenities like water, road, and electricity.
Some school officials and teachers have qualified the current academic year as the most complicated one as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. The enhancing strategies to ensure that students are ready ahead of official examinations. And our reporters visited some schools here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, and Innocent as they compiled this report.
The education sector bleeds from the COVID-19 punch since March 2020. Suspended classes all over the national territory has had some ramifications on the school calendar, and the learners follow up.
We noticed within the time that they have been in the house, it was like they were completely blank. It is after about 3 days that some of them started coming up. But we thank God because a good number of them, about 75% according to our evaluation, were following the online classes that were organized, that the teachers were teaching online.
The holidays, it has really hurt so many people because not everybody came back the same, but still the same. It's not our fault. We never planned anything like this to happen, so it has already happened. We have no choice than to accept and succumb to what's happening now. And I'm so happy that our teachers are like cooperating with us and they're helping us to make the distance and that teaching, but just some fact that we have not some problems in some topics that I've not really tackled that much, but I'm 70% sure of myself that if I'm to write the GC today, I'll make it.
Unfortunately, most of the students did not follow this track while on the close to 3 months technical holidays, especially the e-learning program instituted by the government that was regrettably not followed by most distracted students.
A few of them who were not opportune to have Android phones or go online were those who were really lacking behind.
Some students for these 2 months have not been opening their books, and it is not easy to go smoothly with the exercise.
Reopening minds of these learners is imperative to facilitate knowledge assimilation. Few weeks to start of official examinations. As such, strategies have been developed by secondary school administrators.
During the break that we had, we actually had some electronic teaching with our students. So we don't introduce new topics. We only do revision. Maybe we take questions from the mock that we're supposed to write and revise of them in the class in the various classes.
We have come back, and this is the decision we have taken to revise the mock with the students so that they should be able to answer their GCE questions without problem. Not only the mock that we wrote to revise, we have to get other past questions so that we revise with them and let them get used to the questions of the GCE. And the areas where we did not cover, we try to cover it within the revision period.
The first week we were carrying on some classes. During the second week, these students, they were writing or completing the second part of their mock. It was necessary that they write a mock that has been generally set, and wanted these students to be acquainted to the style and the type of questions that they are going to meet in the examination room.
At the basic education level, it is same breeze sweeping across.
The government has organized the first school mock. The children are writing, and every Saturday, every end of week, we are submitting them on evaluations so that they should be ready the last day.
Though the resumption rate remains very low, what interests the government most is avoiding a blank academic year for these learners. Government, through the Resumption Board action, has promised to always accompany the pupils and students with COVID-19 protective materials to prevent them from contracting the coronavirus. Social distancing, hygiene and barrier measures are being respected in most educational establishments visited in Douala.
Coming up, for me, Armstrong Sander takes a look at the COVID-19 situation of the African continent.
There are more than 216,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases across the African continent, and more African countries are imposing a range of preventive and containment measures against the spread of the pandemic. According to data from the African Center for Disease Control and the Johns Hopkins University on the situation of COVID-19 in Africa, The breakdown remains fluid as countries confirm cases. As of June the 12th, 2020, the continent registered some 216,775 confirmed cases, 5,852 deaths, 98,686 recoveries, and 112,523 active cases. With these figures, the World Health Organization says the pandemic in Africa is accelerating, and that while it took 98 days for the continent to reach 100,000 cases, the numbers doubled to over 200,000 in just 18 days.
We know that it took 98 days to reach the first 100,000 cases and only 19 days to move to 200,000 cases. So even though these cases in Africa account for less than 3% of the global total, it's clear that the pandemic is accelerating.
Qualifying the situation in Africa as serious signs, Mashidosi Moeti, World Health Organization's Africa chief, said that community transmission has begun in more than half of Africa's 54 countries. She noted that the virus largely arrived on the African continent via travelers from Europe and is spreading beyond capital cities and commercial hubs into more rural areas where, according to her, many health systems are unequipped to handle cases that require more intensive care. The latest African country to confirm its first COVID-19 case was Lesotho on May 13, 2020. South Africa has the highest number of cases across the continent, with over 58,568 confirmed cases. South Africa is followed by Egypt with 39,726 cases and Nigeria on the third position with 14,552 confirmed cases.
Talking Point is up next. Coming up in Talking Point, we're going to be discussing a case of a man who was arrested since 2018. Civil society and political leaders say he was abducted in the town of Boya. Until today, his whereabouts remains unknown. His children have been searching for him and receiving his daughter in Talking Point. Thanks, dear viewers, for staying with us in this edition of Talking Point. Our guest today is a young Cameroonian who has been moving from one part of the nation to the other, looking for a father for close to 2 years today. He was arrested in the town of Boya, Southwest region in 2018. Until today, the whereabouts of Marcus Ebilito Atube remains unknown to his relatives, and his daughter is joining us today. Abedin Akweton Ebilito, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm okay, thank you. So, when and where exactly was your father picked up and by whom?
He was taken at checkpoint Moliko Boya precisely by 4 armed men dressed in civil in an Arch Sequoia car. So they took him along Bitingi Market. That was on the 20th, November 30th. So they took him towards Bitingi Market. We started investigating from that 30th that they took him.
What happened before he was picked up?
We don't know actually. I don't know actually. I just received a call that my dad had been kidnapped.
Kidnapped, not arrested?
He was kidnapped, not arrested.
By who?
By military men.
Alright, so what happened after he was picked up? That was in November 2018, is that?
Yes.
Okay.
So from the 30th to the 5th of December that he called us and said he was at Memus under the military custody. He called around 8 p.m. He called my uncle in Garua around 8 p.m. that he was at Memus custody, military custody in Memus. So I went there at 6 o'clock. I waited at 7 that I saw I saw military. A woman that was there. There was military woman.
Military officer.
Yeah. So I asked her that, please, I need to see my dad by name Marcus Eblitu Atube. She said I should go in and check if there's anyone there by the name. When I got there was nobody in the cell even. So I came out and said there's nobody there. I said, that means your father is not there. I said, no, he called yesterday at 8 p.m. that he was here, so I came to look for him. She said there's no one there, so I have to leave. So to date.
That was the next day.
That was on the 5th of December that he called. That he was at Mimos under the military custody.
And on the seat you were there?
On the seat I was there.
And he wasn't?
He wasn't there.
Right, so what else did you do, or where did you go to next?
So from there we started searching for him. I went to Yaoundé, went to Seth, Principal and Kondingi. He was not there. So I left Yaoundé to Boyo back. Went to, okay, the number first. The number he used in calling us. We traced the number. It was a man by name Joe, Mr. Joe. I don't know the other name, by name Mr. Joe. It shows that after that call, he was released 1 month after the call. So he came out. I tried calling his number. He wasn't picking until 2019, early 2019, that I called. Fortunately, he picked and he asked me to meet him at Moya. So I went to Moya and meet up with him.
The
number that he used in calling while he was at Mimos.
Okay.
Yes, so we traced it and found out Mr. Joe. So I went to Moya and I met with him. He said my father was brought there at Mimos. Means my father met him there. So when he made the call, before me arriving there the previous day, the other day, they have transferred them to camp at Tole.
A military camp.
A military camp at Tole. So we sent an uncle. He went there. They said the camp was destroyed due to this crisis. So before then, that I've gone to Yaoundé. Early, that was March 2019. I called his number. A military man picked up the call. He said, yes, who are you? I said, I'm Aberdeen, Mr. Marco's daughter.
How did you know that it was a military man?
He told me.
Okay, he told you
yes,
that he was a military
yes,
officer.
Hello, this is a military man.
Did he tell you his name?
No, he did not tell me his name. So I said, please, I need to know the whereabouts of my father. Where are you people keeping him? He said, your dad is here with us. Your dad is here with us.
With us where?
He did not say anything like where they were. He just said, your dad is here with us. I said, please, what do you people want from him? It's almost a year that you took him. Can you just release him for us? He said, no, he's under our custody. We are investigating him. I said, okay. So what has he done? What's his crime? He said, your dad is an Amazonian. I said, an Amazonian. That is, do I know that my dad is sponsoring those guys? I said, I don't know any of that thing you're saying, because my dad, first of all, does not have the money to even sponsor us the school. Doctors are sponsoring those guys. He said, no, your dad is an Amazonian. You're going to keep him here. And if he did not say anything, then I don't know. I'm sorry. He said...
So they're accusing your father of sponsoring terrorists or separatists who are being referred to as terrorists today by the authorities? Is that what?
Yes, that's what he told me. That's what the man told me.
Okay.
Yes, so as he said, by the way, we have killed him. I burst into tears. I said, how can you just kill someone like that? He said, I should describe my dad. When I started crying, he said, okay, calm down. I should describe my dad. I said, my dad is black, short. He said, okay, I'm sorry. I mistook him for a yellow guy we just killed. I said, wow. please, we need to see my father because he's the breadwinner of the family. Due to that, I've stopped school. It's okay, where are you precisely? Then I was in Boya, but I told him I'm in Bamenda because I was scared that he should not trace me. That where is your mom and your siblings? I said, we are all in Bamenda. He said, can I see you? I said, no, sir, you cannot see me because you are still holding my dad. It means when I show up to you, you are going to keep me too. He said, no, I need to see you and tell you more of what your father has been doing before we took him. I said, no, you cannot see me. That's why I called and you picked so we can talk on phone. He said, no, I need to see you. I need to see you. That is an Amazonian. They are the ones separating this country. So he still insisting. I said, no, my dad is not Amazonian. My dad does not have the money to sponsor those guys. He dropped the call. So from there, as he dropped the call, I called, he switched off the call. I called twice, he switched off the phone. So to date, we haven't heard nor seen him.
That was last year?
That was 2019, early March.
Have you informed the police? Have you been searching all alone? Or?
Yes, I've been there all alone, searching. I wrote a complaint to the Commissioner of Police in Moliko after they took my dad. So I wrote a complaint. After that, he heard it was the military that took him. He just sealed the case. So
how did he seal the case? He told
no more investigation. He said no more. When he called when my father called that he was at Mimos. As I went there, I did not see him. I came back to the commissioner that's what is happening now. He said, okay, since you didn't know that it's the military that took your dad, then there's no way I can push further. That was all.
Right. You said you have gone to Yaoundé, the main prison, the principal prison, and of course to the State Defense Secretariat. What did they tell you there?
He just asked my ID and my name. I went inside to search, and they said I can go since I could not see my dad. That was all.
You went into the maximum security prison in Kondengi,
yes.
Yaoundé, and you searched through. Your dad wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
You went through all the quarters in the prison, in the cell, in the different cells, right? And you went to the State Defense Secretariat. What did they tell you at the set?
She just said your dad is not here. That one is never allow me in. They asked his picture and his name. I gave it to them. They went inside and came back that your dad is not here.
All right. So what have you been doing since that was in 2019?
Okay, when I went to Yaoundé.
Yes.
Yes.
That was in 2019. And from 2019 till now, what else have you been doing to in the effort of finding your dad?
Since then we've been up and down, still there, until they came and zipped us. One man came and zipped us that he knew where my dad is. The same, then he took us to Service Central that my dad is there. When he was not there, I met one of my dad's friend that is a lawyer. I told him about it. He just said, Mommy, the country, just leave me. It's okay, we should just be praying in court. And that was all.
Your father was a businessman.
He was a businessman.
Did he have anything to do with the struggle ongoing in the northwest and southwest region of the country, separatists and so on?
No, that is just his normal man. He does not even associate, no. But he had a group. I cannot really place it in his end. He was a youth president on CPDM, something like that. He was a youth president. Like when they want something, he organized the youth to go for it.
He's a member of the CPDM?
Yes. That I cannot really tell much about that. That one concerns me. But I don't know, he was a youth president.
A youth leader in the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement,
yes.
The ruling party in Cameroon. All right. Now, I want you to look at this camera and talk to the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Justice, and all other authorities. Why not the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, who is the head of the defense ministry? Talk to them.
Mr. President, I'm kind of speechless. It's really painful. Oh. Please, I'm pleading that wherever my dad is, because I know you have a clue of where he is. I'm just pleading for his release because I know he's alive. I'm just pleading for his release. He's just a Cameroonian, a businessman that is pushing forward for his family. So we need him back. It's really painful that we were there with my younger sister, just 5 years old, without knowing where his dad is. Every day he kept asking me, "Big sis, where is daddy? Where is daddy?" I keep on telling lies that daddy has traveled out of the country. I don't even know how to tell her that they have taken daddy away from us. So it's really painful. I'm begging that please, wherever he is, you're supposed to send him back to us. We need him now more than ever. It's kind of painful. Please.
It's quite a difficult situation there. You know that it must be very, very difficult. The father has how many children? What's been the impact of his absence?
We are 3 of us. I'm the first. I have a younger brother and a kid sister, which is just 5 years old. Then,
what has been the impact of his absence in the family?
It's really hard. Due to that, I stopped school. I was a level 400 student in the University of Boya. Due to his kidnap, I had to stop school because there was no sponsor. My younger brother is just fortunate that my dad has a friend that is pushing him through. Now he's fighting for Batua, while my younger sister and my mom, they're in the village. She's just there. Things are hard because my dad is the breadwinner of the family. It's really tough on us. That's why I need him back. We really need him back.
Right, we hope that the message has gone through. We hope that the President of the Republic has heard you. We hope that the Prime Minister, the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Defense, and all the other authorities have heard your message, and we hope that you will find your dad sooner or later. Courage.
Thank you.
Abedin Akwiton Ibelitu, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today.